Well, hello Internet. Here we are with a little bit of a vlog for the day in progress. A few things again in my brain that I want to share with the world. So, here we go. Well, a big choice has been made. Way back in, what would it have been, 2013 or so, 2014, 2013, when my dad moved back to Lloyd here from his brief adventure in Edmonton, trying to find something that was no longer available for somebody like him. He purchased a bicycle from the local Canadian box store. I knew it would be a bit of a risk for him to do so because of certain factors, that Dad's medical condition and a few things like that, but he did it. At that time he was still fairly independent. Dad rode the heck out of that bicycle for 2013, 2014, 2015, I forget exactly. I might be off a bit on the year, but I know he moved back. I know he moved back before I broke my hand, because there's videos of me working on his bike with a broken hand. So that's why I say 2013. And in 2016, in 2015, in the late summer, Dad got knocked off his bicycle by somebody, and I'm not quite sure what happened there. They kept on going, or Dad didn't raise a fuss about it, or not sure. Anyways, it spent the winter in my shed because it was pretty wrecked, and Dad was pretty bruised up and shaken from the incident. In the spring of 2016, Dad and I talked it over and decided to rebuild this bicycle. It had a bent front wheel. One of the brake levers was broke. There was a tear in the seat, tear in one of the hand grips. I think there was a broken pedal, of course, from being drugged or drove over or whatever happened there. And I said, okay, let's rebuild it, Dad. At this time, you could buy a bicycle just like it, except the newer version, for probably just over the 250, 260 mark. I get tearing into it and find out it needed more than what the original guess was, and Dad being on a fixed income, me still kind of working and having income coming in, being generous, took it upon myself to basically completely rebuild the bicycle. Everything. Cables, tires, tubes. It needed a back wheel along with a front wheel. Seat, brake levers, the 7-speed twist or grip shift, half a set like it was. Some of those parts I had in stock, but the tires, the tubes, the hand grips, brake levers, Dad had already started to collect some parts like the grips and brake levers, but the tires and tubes he couldn't afford, and the back rim he couldn't afford, or the front rim, because those are expensive. Well, I rebuilt it for him. I forget exactly the dates. There may be a video on my channel about it. I forget, or I might have been just did it off camera because, I was struggling, spring of the year, all that wonderful stuff. Dad may have rode the bicycle once or twice throughout the summer of 16. Partly he had other things going on medically, I would imagine, as well, as it was a little bit of a shock or traumatic experience. So he may have been a little bit afraid to ride again. In the fall of 2016, Dad passed away, and the bicycle still had those little nubbies on the tires, like it wasn't really ridden much at all, if any. I put the bicycle in my shed along with my other 8 or 10 special bicycles that were my bicycles, expensive bicycles. I guess you could call them. By the time 2016 so rolled around, they were vintage bicycles from the 90s. When my life changed in 2018, I got rid of all of my vintage bicycles, or expensive at one time bicycles, to a local bike shop. I hung on to Dad's bicycle all these years, partly because, well, it was Dad's. One of the last items now in 2024 that I have left or had left that belonged to Dad. The TV's now gone, the TV stand's now gone, the bicycle's now gone. I don't believe I have any large items anymore. There's a tabletop barbecue left that belonged to my grandpa and my dad, purchased around the 2012 or 2013 mark, somewhere around there. The story that I was told anyway, that it was my grandpa's, or purchased by him anyway. I came to the conclusion last winter or last fall when I moved, seeing the condition the bicycle had become sitting since 2016. The tubes are now flat, the tires are now checked, it's all dirty, a couple of the cables are seized, things like that. That if I wasn't going to start riding this spring, getting things squared away this winter so I could, that I was going to have to get rid of it. I have developed a little bit of a rapport with the local bike shop, partly because the local bike shop sprung from the bike shop back in the day where I bought my said vintage bicycles from. This person and I kind of worked together, hung out together there, sort of a little bit of a working type of relationship. And many years later, now he has his own bicycle shop. He took upon himself to consign, sell, trade my vintage bicycles at a time in my life where I had no place to store them, no idea what my future was going to hold. So I figured he'd be the best person in this whole town to get Dad's bicycle. I did offer it to family on my dad's memorial Facebook page, but none of the single family members on there or whatever was interested in it. I know how cutthroat and rude social media is for trying to sell items. They'd offer you like $25 because it's got a flat tire or whatever. I've tried selling things in the past, good working things, and they're ruthless there, much less one that is needing repair. So I donated Dad's bicycle to the bike shop. It's he has contacts with other programs around town, people that need bicycles, people that are involved in other organizations that know people. And I think once a couple of repairs are done, Dad's bicycle would go to a much better place than selling it on social media classifieds or just letting it sit in the storage room or wherever it was going to end up with me, because again, my life is kind of changing. Well, after I was done there, I emptied out the back of the truck box from the winter of goodies. There was fuel cans in there that were empty but left over from the summer. There was these big, heavy, like 50 pounds a piece, 3/4 inch stall mats that I had for rubber mats for the floor of the truck. Just to keep it from getting scratched or scuffed, having the generator sled in there and a few things. I'm on the hunt for another truck bed mat. I may have to buy one new because they're very hard to come by. I don't know if people don't like them and don't buy them, or if people buy them and don't get rid of them, or when people do get rid of the $175 to $200 mat, they just toss it because it's of no value to them. So that's one of the things I'm hunting down. Then after that, I went to the car wash and gave the truck a good washing. It was nice to see it clean again after winters of buildup. I know it's been washed throughout the winter, but I always try to give it a good wand wash every so often, just to make sure that there's not buildup in corners and stuff. While I was in the car wash, I washed out the box or bed of the truck, got rid of all the dirt and dust from all the summer's back road adventures. I think I might look at a tailgate gasket for that truck, just to make it a little bit more dust resistant. For some odd reason, this truck seems to have a bigger vacuum sucking in dirt than the other vehicles I owned. And it gets even worse when I'm pulling a trailer because, I don't know, science, I guess. Sometimes in life we're faced to make choices that maybe should have been made, years ago, when obviously I wasn't going to ride. I had hopes of riding, but obviously it might be a few more years before that happened. There is the whole e-bike thing out there. Anybody have any recommendations or thoughts on a good quality semi-off-road, semi-on-road-ish capable e-bike? Not one of these weird folding kind of city type e-bikes. I would like a motocross looking style type off-road manly kind of. Is that like a contradiction? A manly electric bike, kind of saying like an electric vehicle's manly, but I guess depends on your point of view. I had thought about buying a Honda Ruckus, one of those little 49cc kind of moped thingies. However, it's gas powered and there's certain places you can't go with it. There would be space for it in my grand vision of my future. However, it weighs like 200 pounds or just under the 200 pound mark, so it'd be a little bit awkward to load in and out the back of the truck when I'm on an adventure. There's a few things I need to work through for my future, a few things that I'm currently working through. It's nice to be able to let Dad's bike go finally, deal with a few things there. Hopefully it goes to a good place, a better home, and whoever ends up with it, you don't have to polish it, but please take care of it, because it's got a lot of story and feeling and heart behind it, and it wasn't an easy choice to make. Thanks for watching this here vlog, and as always, comment, subscribe, and enjoy.